Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of English with Sarvi. Today we're talking about parents' meetings. I'm going to tell you some stories that actually happened during these past 2 weeks because I had meetings with middle school parents and also primary ones. Today I will have the last one, and I found some time and an empty classroom, and I thought, why not giving you some tips? Let's say that the first thing we need to remember, which is I think the most important thing, is to focus on little things, like little positive things about the kids. I know sometimes it's like from the beginning of the class to the end, some of the kids are like looking at the wall or I don't know, hitting on the table, not focused. Like I had a student that I didn't know that the parents were about to get a divorce, so the kid hasn't really had like a good time recently. A little bit aggressive, sensitive in the classroom, like cries spontaneously. Let's try to focus on little positive things when we are talking to the parents. We are not saying that you shouldn't be honest with them. You should be honest with your parents, but try to use the sandwich feedback. It's not like the cliche of one positive, one negative, one positive, one negative. Yes, it's a good idea, but some people again get offended by it. It's a great strategy to start with something positive, then try to talk about a weak point, again another positive thing, another weakness, something that we want to make better. Yet again, I think the honesty and authenticity, like how genuinely you want to help the kid and the parent to get better results, that is something that has worked best for me so far. With one of my students, I remember that when I saw her mom, I held her hands firmly and kindly, warmly. I smiled. I showed enthusiasm and happiness. I wanted her to know that the kid had changed. It wasn't like the kid had started speaking English out of nowhere, but it's like the kid could finally make some short sentences related to the topic.
She's a famous person in her country.
Really?
Really, I'm not joking.
I'm not sure she is famous just in her country.
Oh, really? We need to balance our expectancy of the kids, like to be able as a teacher to see those little things, those little improvements, like yes, this kid all the time is, I don't know, stomping his feet, hitting his hand on the table, shouting in the class, but then there was one question related to fire that I asked and he could answer. I'm going to focus on that. For some people, this can be showing off, this can be dishonesty, or trying to make something which is not good actually, okay, or something better than it really is. But I think for kids, like those small little creatures that are trying to step by step find their identity, those little things matter very much. So let's focus on the little things, those small improvements that they've had when we're talking to the parents. The other thing that happened, and I am very happy that it did, was that I talked to one of my colleagues that actually his kid is in my lesson, and he's a PE teacher, so he basically works a lot with red cards, yellow cards. He's a coach, and I noticed that his son was acting a little bit strange recently in the class. Like he had become really sensitive about losing. He couldn't take it when he lost. And then when we were talking about this with the parent, with the father, I figured that he's really strict about winning. I mean, I could anticipate, I could see it, that it was coming from a strict father, and the fact that the kid was with his father at school, at the same school that his father works for more than 5 years, I think makes it more important for him to get approval from the father, because they are at the same place, same time every single day. Sometimes even they eat together in the lunch hall. And yeah, when we talked, he said, yeah, you're right. And I told him, I know how strict you are. It makes sense, especially when they're playing football. But try to understand that that is stopping him from giving answers when he knows the answer in English lesson, or maybe, I mean, other lessons too. I don't know about the other lessons, but in my lesson, it was like the kid knew the answer. So sometimes he wouldn't give me the answer. He would come to my table, whisper it in my ears, because he was afraid of making a mistake and then receiving like a red card, a yellow card. And yeah, I'm so happy that we talked about it, because the kid has a lot of potential. Again, this is one of the things that we need to notice in our lessons. When kids, when students, especially at school, change, their behavior changes, they become more sensitive, or they become like ignorant suddenly towards some certain stuff. Another nice thing I did, which is the last thing we will talk about in this video, and it really worked well for me, was about classroom management. I do have a kid in my lesson that always hits on the table, okay, like he loves it, making different sounds, like hitting on the table with his hands like firmly. I think he loves making sounds because he loves getting attention. So the other day, I usually, sometimes I lose it and I start yelling at him saying, please just stop it. But then the other day I did something different. I went to him, and when he was doing it, I said, can I hold your hand? With a smile. And he was like, I said, I just want to hold your hand. Like, emotionally, I need it, I want it. I really, and let's say that I was honest, I really like that kid. I enjoy spending time with him. I really like, his gestures, postures. He's a cute kid. So he gave his hand to me, and then just like this. And then I was like, okay. I continued what I was doing. Just like now, I continued speaking, giving instructions to the students. We needed to work on a worksheet together, and his hand was still in my hand. He was, like surprised. He didn't know what was happening. At the same time, he was enjoying, receiving that stroke from me. And it worked. He stopped, and I wasn't shouting, and it was amazing. This was the last thing I wanted to talk to you about. It's been a great week. Just like always, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and do it. Don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends. I love you, and bye-bye.